Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we're going to take a look at everything in my collection starring Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is an actor that I'm hit or miss on. More hits than miss, but he's a good actor, don't get me wrong, but he's not one of my favorites. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would put Ben Affleck at about a 7. So without further ado, let's dive in and take a look at some stuff starring Ben Affleck. And it's always a pleasure to see Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in a movie together, considering that they're best friends and they started out together. So yeah, The Last Duel. And this is a good movie. Got a stellar cast in this movie. Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Jodie Comer, Ben Affleck, and more. This is a wonderful, wonderful movie. If you've never seen this one, you need to check this one out. It's a good, good movie. Let's see. We got Justin Timberlake and Ben Affleck in Runner. This one was like, this is one of these movies where Ben Affleck is missing for me. It's a solid enough movie. It's a decent enough watch, but Ben playing this kind of role doesn't really work for me. You know what I mean? That's why when I say he's hit or miss, it depends on the role. And this, for me, for far as Ben Affleck's performance in this particular movie, it was a miss for me. This one is a hit. We got Ben Affleck, Bryan Cranston, Alan Arkin, and John Goodman in Argo. This was most definitely a hit. Fantastic movie. Great story. This is another one. This is a hit. The Way Back. This is a... I'm going to go on the record to say, far as acting, this might be top 3 for Ben Affleck. From now, again, when I give these rankings, this is just my personal opinion. As far as acting, the quality of the acting from this man, I'm going to say this is probably about number 3 for me as far as my favorite Affleck performances. Here's another banger. Again, like I said, when I say hit or miss, he's got more hits than misses. And we got Ben Affleck, Rebecca Hall, John Hamm, Jeremy Renner, and Blake Lively in The Town. I don't really got to say much. This is definitely one of Ben's best movies. Probably not one of his best performances, but one of his best movies. And I know some of you probably say, well, if it's his best performance, it's simple. Like, for example, like I said when I did Will Smith. The Pursuit of Happiness might not be one of his bigger movies. This wasn't small, but I think his performance in that was probably his best performance. That's my opinion. That's not his biggest movie by far. But that, to me, that was his best performance, in my opinion. Now, let's get back to Ben Affleck. So we got Daredevil, and this is a combo pack with Elektra and Daredevil. Daredevil is a great action comic book movie. I thought it was really, really good. The critics took a dump on this one. The fans' reaction to it wasn't really all that. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, and I was hoping to see Ben Affleck come back as Daredevil. Now, the guy on Netflix, he was the man. He did a great job, too, but Ben Affleck did a good job in this movie. I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all disagree, I don't know what to tell you. I think he did a good job. This is definitely not a trash comic book movie, in my opinion. I thought Michael Clark Duncan was the man as Kingpin. I know they did a race swap, but it worked. Now, I didn't really care too much for Colin Farrell. I liked him. I didn't like that character. You know what I'm saying? Good movie overall. Really good movie. Justice League. This is the Snyder Cut. Now, before we get on to the next one, which is Batman, Dawn of Justice, Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, let me just say this. Ben Affleck's Batman is a powerful, banging-ass Batman that was slept on. I think his Batman... Now, when you stack his Batman up against Bale, Keaton, it don't match up. Because he only had one really standalone movie. And it really wasn't a standalone movie. It was... His first outing was Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice. It was him and Superman. I would have liked to have seen a standalone Ben Affleck Batman movie, because I think he did a great job as Batman. I think he did to me, he was the one who did a great Batman and a great Bruce Wayne. I think for the most part, Keaton, Bale, and Affleck did both well. They did Bruce Wayne and Batman very well. Now, when we go to Robert Pattinson, he did Batman well, but he didn't do Bruce Wayne well. But I get it. It's a different take on Bruce Wayne. Sorry, guys. So, yeah. Batfleck, if you want to call it that, I think Batfleck was a solid Batman. And I would have liked to have seen more. At least a good standalone movie. But we're not going to get that. And Ben Affleck, Morgan Freeman, and The Sum of All Fears. To me, I think Ben Affleck is probably my second favorite Jack Ryan. And I know we got 4 people who played Jack Ryan. We got Ben Affleck, Harrison Ford, Chris Pine, and one of the Alec Baldwin. And I think number 2 is definitely Ben Affleck. Then we have Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Jay and Silent Bob. And this right here. Now, again, Ben Affleck was great in this movie, but he did not steal the show. This was really not his movie. This was Rosamund Pike's movie. Rosamund Pike, she killed it in this. We talking Gone Girl. Yo, listen. Rosamund Pike was the truth in this movie. She was the absolute truth. She was amazing in this movie. Absolutely. But Ben Affleck did a good job. He did. And this is where I really got, like, really put on to Ben Affleck. You know what I'm saying? I know he did a few things before this, but this is where I really got put on to him and started really paying attention to him. Armageddon. I don't really got to say a lot. I just watched this movie earlier today. I love this movie. This is a movie I can just sit down and watch anytime. And you know what's crazy about this movie? It's Michael Bay's cinematography. It works. And his movies age beautifully. Go back and look at an older Michael Bay movie from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Well, actually, yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. They still look real crispy today. This movie, even on a DVD, you pop this in, it still looks real crispy. Michael Bay, his cinematography style is on point. I'm telling you, even on DVD, pop it in. This movie still look crispy as hell today. And I'm still waiting on a 4K for this one. I know it's out on Blu-ray, but this is one that I'm just going to, this and 7. Those are 2 DVDs I got that I'm really waiting on the 4Ks. Smoking Aces. Ah, yes. Good Will Hunting. What can I say? What can I really say? This is a movie that I liked Ben Affleck's performance in this movie. I did. He didn't drag this movie down. This is a good movie that suffered from too much runtime and too much filler. Like, they filled this movie with too much love story. It's nothing wrong with having a little bit of love story in a movie like this. There's nothing wrong with that. Too much love story, it just filled too much of the runtime. And I will always say this. If they cut 30 to 45 minutes off the runtime of this movie, this would have been a much tighter movie. It was a good movie. It was too damn long, and it had too much filler, in my opinion. Pearl Harbor. Again, I will always say this was a real good movie. Well shot, well acted. It was just a really beautiful movie, but it just had too much filler. They could have cut some of the shit out. State of Play with Russell Crowe. Love Russell Crowe. I try to get everything that he's in. Now, this is a movie here that I am a huge fan of both of the, well, I'm a huge fan of Samuel Jackson, Ben Affleck, not so much. I'm a fan, but I'm not a huge fan. But this movie was actually pretty good, and it was slept on, and it's a classic in my opinion. Changing Lanes. A lot of people don't know about this movie. This is a slept-on movie that is really, really good. You need to check this one out. It's called Changing Lanes. And this is a movie that I liked. I wouldn't say that I went crazy for it, but it was good. Adrian Brody, Diane Lane, Ben Affleck, and Bob Hoskins. Hollywoodland. This was a decent enough movie. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. Again, not one of my favorites on this list, but pretty good. So that's everything that I got starring Ben Affleck. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's rewind this back. Hollywoodland. Changing Lanes. This is a sleeper right here. You need to check this one out. State of Play. I will actually recommend all of these, to be honest with you. Pearl Harbor. Good Will Hunting. Smoking Aces. Armageddon. Gone Girl. Listen, guys. If you haven't seen this one, or you're a collector and you don't got this one in your collection, you need to get this and you need to watch this one ASAP. Jay and Silent Bob reboot. The Sum of All Fears. This is the Snyder Cut of Justice League, which is way better than just Justice League. Get the Snyder Cut. If you don't have Justice League, don't get the regular Justice League. Get the Zack Snyder Cut. Trust me, that's the one you want. Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice. Daredevil. I don't care what none of the haters say. Daredevil was decent. Elektra was, but Daredevil was good. In fact, it was a banger. That's my opinion. The Town. This is an excellent movie. The Way Back, an excellent movie. Argo, an excellent movie. Runner, yeah. The Last Duel, excellent. So with all the excellence I just gave these movies, I'm going to have to change my opinion. Ben Affleck is probably at about a 7.5 instead of a 7. I can't take him to 8. He's probably somewhere between a 7 and a 7.5 because his body of work is banging. The movies he was in was absolutely bangers. He got more bangers than not. So yeah, I can't put him at an 8. I'm pinching myself. I can't. He's really good though. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.